Doing good? Oh, I can't hear you. Wait, did I unplug my shit? Wait, let me check. Oh, yeah. When I scooted my chair back, it unplugged my headset. Okay. Hey, sorry. I did a silly.
Well, hello there. Welcome back. A little smaller group today, and something that was a little bit unplanned, but last minute changed over to the very end. Well, not last minute, that's not quite correct. But we decided to, rather than have some more D&D Academy today, we would have an experience of how Zamani starts to begin to fare in court. How that will traverse the social landscape of Ishenhar Exandir. What aspects of it may find troublesome or intriguing. Look at these two amazing people. Look at you, amazing person. I can feel the FOMO from through the screen. But, Jen, or more importantly, for now, Zamani, made your way to the rub below. There is days to be had in here. There is time to be spent. You're a maid of honor and future sister-in-law for quite a few people, and object of admiration, envy, and hatred for many, many more.
Great. I love that.
The Crystal Citadel, the jewel below. A home, perhaps. But for now, a very foreign place that has a lot of scary people. What do you want to do? It should have been me. It should have been you. You'll have your time next. I did just get my schedule wrapped. We can do it. Honestly, if we don't want to do any D&D Academy next week, we can do Tuesday and Thursday next week as well. So, Zamani.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Zamani, for herself, is probably going to do her best to try to stay in her own lane, because I'm assuming, just given by the way Zilzurzenna has carried herself so far, she already has everything planned out that she wants Zamani to be doing.
Okay.
Is that an incorrect assumption to make?
Look, I'm gonna let you make your own assumptions based off the way you've interacted with characters, and we'll see how accurate or not they are as we get through them.
Well, I mean,
do you want to just stay in your room? Do you want to go try and find anyone specifically? Is anyone of the royal family you wish to speak to, or are you going to wait for them to come to you?
Is there like a royal family, like this is where we hang out, like this is our living room kind of a thing?
Well, there's many, but as is most families this age, none of them are kids anymore. They're all kind of like Calicinder's the youngest, and he's 200 and something. They're kind of
that's true.
You know, all of them going to their rooms, various going off about their own days. Some of them are heading off.
Would have asked the dad how she should be, like what she should do.
Right, so let's assume it's late into your first evening in Ishenhar Exandir. You're settling down in your room. Calicinder's called off to do whatever nonsensical stuff he must do with his family. But you look around and you're not sure what, so to speak, denotes night and day in the world below. Your body clock feels like it should be getting quite late at this stage. And you look to the ceiling of the Crystal Citadel, your room, as portions of the clouded glass, the clouded crystal, peers out into the beautiful expanse of the cavern below. And you see a few little like skittering movements on the roof of the cavern above, the Qatari riders that you're very aware of, and you see with a keen eye small arcane glyphs that sometimes go off, and then you just see all the bioluminescence dull across the entire city.
Oh, that's very cool. They use the glowing moss shit to determine day and night. Okay.
Yes, they infuse it with more or less magic to help a more common life cycle, specifically for the Azaria district, who former surface dwellers kind of rely on the day-night cycle.
Yeah. Wait, so that means that not only is there a rock that absorbs magic, there's also a type of moss that does that too.
Yeah,
it has to eat it. Like that has to be its like nutrition.
Maybe, or maybe it's just illusions.
Okay, well then that's no fun.
So in the evening, you're kind of spending most of your day soothing Zelly, getting her calm. There's a rasp of a knuckle on your door, and it goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, you haven't come out of your room." You see, Amrathan, Calicinder's father, has come to check on you.
Hi.
You feeling quite all right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a lot to get adjusted to be completely honest, and I'm really not sure what's expected of me. But so far, it's beautiful. It's nerve-wracking.
All that and more. You're not far
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
I would agree. It is. I come to the Citadel many times when I was a boy. Our families were always very loyalists to the crown, so I had attended quite a few times. And I remember my first few nights here when I'd finally become betrothed to Cal's mother. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I couldn't pee for days in here. I had to leave and go somewhere else. I always felt like someone could see through the walls.
That's fair. Hadn't crossed my mind. New thing to add to the list.
Look, they can't. I've asked repeatedly. You seem nervous, but it's honestly,
extremely.
it's all right. You're not a stranger to me, at least. I've met you once, and from what I can tell, with a bit of familial favourites, Calicinda appears to be dreaming his mother far more than he ever has me, or I don't believe he ever has, or even asked. But anyway, you know a few of us, and you've met Talvin for a while. So, honestly,
Yeah.
you're among present company that does care to want you in this family. You all want well for Calicinda, and from what he's been saying, he's quite fond of you.
I'm
We're
glad
fond
that
of
he's
you.
been saying good things. I don't mean to. I didn't assume that any of you wanted me out. It's everything seemed quite friendly and at least cordial. It's just I don't know how I'm supposed to behave or act. If that makes any sense.
No, definitely. I wasn't always the king of the Starless. I get that.
Yeah.
I
I grew up on the streets. This is a world I never believed I would experience ever.
I'm not too unsimilar. I grew up in a fort for most of my life, and then spent a few hundred years fighting against the ghouls. So honestly, I think that's not too far off. Perhaps horrors of poverty versus war. I can't quite tell you which is worse.
I think it just depends on each individual circumstances.
That's fair. Either way, you're going to see a lot of people you love die. So.
That's very
Look,
true.
You don't know how to act, that's grand, because I don't like acting how I know I'm meant to act. If that's not very apparent. If you want, we can get out of here for the night. I've got a few cloaks, I know a few passageways that I'm not meant to know to get out of the castle. I can show you around the town, we can go down to the Zarya district, perhaps.
That sounds absolutely lovely. I would
Maybe
greatly appreciate
get you
that.
in a bit more of your comfort zone before you're... Well, people are probably going to recognize you as is. You kind of made an entrance.
To be fair, it wasn't my idea.
Yeah, no, that's...
And aren't they quite even more likely to recognize you, being that you are the king and all that?
You'd think that. Honestly, you stand beside the queen long enough, people just forget you're there. I mean, have you seen her dresses? I wear armor, and
oh, I have. They're gorgeous.
They don't fit me, unfortunately. But you know what does fit me? I do have a few sets of common clothes, and
Those would be nice.
I will. I hear from Calicinda that your armor can change. So how about we look as dishevelled, but not rockhousey enough that people will try and start a fight with us, but not something that'll draw attention. I'll go fetch a cloak. You can do however many magics it takes you to change your armor, and we can sneak out of here and perhaps get you somewhere more comfortable.
Sounds lovely. Zamani will change her clothes to be what kind from them coming in, what seems to be kind of like more like slightly disheveled common folk, and she'll put her hair up in like a big messy bun that no one's ever seen before.
Oh. I don't know if that's me or Jen, but we've got someone freezing. Sorry.
Hi.
Oh, there we are.
My internet's back. I'm sorry.
That's alright. You said big disheveled bun that no one's seen before.
Yeah.
Nice. So, a couple of moments, about 10 minutes later, you see the lights are getting quite dim, and you see almost from the height of the Crystal Citadel, sitting like so high up, down in the various districts throughout Asian Alexander, you can see these like lanterns just boom, 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 lining the streets, start turning on, and And Rathan comes, he has like no noble armor. It's like this patchwork leather that is like scraps of it falling off.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, alright, let's not get seen leaving.
That would probably be for the best, yeah.
Could you roll me a stealth check?
Oh, I'd love to. Stealth is something I'm good at, although not when I use a d12 to roll it.
Look, that's generally ill-advised. It's D4 or higher.
Oh, okay. That was really good. It's gonna be a 31.
Yeah, well, you roll a 19 on the dice plus his modifiers. So leading you through, you see he starts weaving the halls. Like, he's done this probably a fair few times. A day,
More than he
maybe.
probably should have.
But very much so winding his way down through some of the stairways and like grander things. The stairs seem to have this notch in the bottom as you see he starts climbing down them, and he stops on a step. He goes back up too. He clicks his heel into like the side where the kind of meets the wall, and you hear just this faint click, and he goes right underneath the stairs now, and he goes down and around, and you see like the clouded crystal has like faded, and a handle has appeared, and he goes right through.
So is the stepping back too important for opening it, or is it just trying to find the right stair?
Mostly trying to find the right rhythm and place. It's kind of
fair.
muscle memory.
Zvani's definitely mentally noting that down.
Yeah. It's a tricky one. So as this leads through, you start going, and you can see as you start making your way below the stairs and below the floors, and you can see where the clouded crystal above you is very, very beautifully done. You can see these like almost made of like this darker hewn like rock or stone, where you can hear the quiet rush of water passing through them.
Huh.
As you make your way further down, kind of following these pipeways, you come very close to like the river, where you can see that there is various arcanists at the base of the crystal citadel that have these pipes pumping into the citadel, and they have these arcane kind of rings surrounding them that are in constant swirl of just looks like concentrated heat surrounding the start of the pipe. How do we get the hot water?
You really made like plumbing.
The crystal citadel has many advancements that are beautiful and serene.
That's amazing.
It's not actually for plumbing. It's we have quite this large using some of the under the sub water geysers in bigger of it. We can get the expulsions of the water to fuel a very nice bathhouse in the citadel.
Oh, that sounds amazing. It sounds actually amazing.
It's not so much taps and running water as it is just like it surfaces eventually. But they do use the hot water running through the stone to heat some of the citadel when they want to.
So Marnie will tell them about hot springs that exist on the surface as well.
Interesting. I've heard of some of them near Zarsan. I've never been, but I would like to if I can get out. I don't think that
Aren't
will
you
happen.
grounded for like the next few hundred years or something?
Well, I don't have that many left, so I hope not. But probably am. As you kind of heathen on the surface, not even having plumbing. Absolute heathens. As you look out into Lake Irva, it stretches as far as the eye can see towards the horizon. You can see very much so kind of, I'm just remembering the placement, so kind of like southwestern of the actual citadel itself. You see this beautiful cathedral down the shoreline. Yes. That's a place you want to avoid. I will be recognized there.
It's beautiful.
That's where you're going to get married, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Is that also where we're having the whole engagement party thing?
Oh no, that would be in the palace. That's the cathedral. It's the largest cathedral to the dying god. It's where the high priestess would be.
Oh,
Yeah.
Apparently she would like to meet us.
I very much so imagine she would. Aniatha is an exceptional woman. She's always been considered the voice of the dying god. preaching his tenants. I imagine that'd be an interesting conversation for Galacinder to have. But if we scoot
That's
around
pretty
up
cool, too.
northeast and we can kind of skirt the wall of the palace and go get around.
This
As
sounds
he
good.
makes his way up and around, kind of coming in through, you see there's this like initial aristocratic district where you see many large manors with some of the symbology that you've been given by Calasindir. You pass by this very opulent castle that kind of sits in one of the districts. This, like, not castle but mansion, so to speak. I guess there's turned in main branch house. That's where my sister of Virulend lives. Stone woman. Just quickly moving.
Got it.
As you very quickly start navigating your way through the streets and the thrum of not really so much nobility, as they're mostly retired within their home right now, but there's a heavy guard presence. And a couple of them, you feel clock Amrathan, as a couple of them, as he approaches, they begin to get down on an knee and he goes, fuck up, no. And he's like, he rushes up to me, starts like ushering up, he goes, and they're like, yes, my moving
Zamani
along.
will definitely, all of the ones who definitely don't see us, Zamani will give them a nice little like, hi.
Yeah, there's a, he kind of, you feel like he has his guys who don't tell on him, but like,
Yeah.
but very quickly making your way down, the city changes in both elevation as you get deeper into the city. The buildings become still beautiful in construction based on anything compared to the world below, as you really feel like there isn't waste down here. Everything is used. Every bit of the stone, every bit of the marble, anything that they can cut out. Some buildings are cut in like honeycomb hive work into the side of the cavern wall. It's beautiful, the construction. And coming into the Azaria district, you see that there's many homes dotted in both functionality, size, scape. You see some with quite wide doorways, perhaps for more Loxodonian figures, or like, you know, more shallow and slim in case of goblinoid. As he kind of crosses his arms, he goes, I don't come here very often, so
Why not?
I normally get caught before I get this far.
Oh, so we got quite lucky today.
No, I did quite well. Yes, I think it's the all the improved fuss in the citadel with Calacindy being home.
That's fair. Everyone's excited. The
I-
accommodation buildings are very nice. We don't have that much as on the surface. Usually people are just forced to kind of do their best with what they have.
We do everything with what we have. We make sure that nothing gets lost or left behind. I know we do seem quite stuffy, probably from Calacindia's perspective, but there is a real sense of unity, I suppose. There's a sense of, you know, don't leave anyone to struggle. Well, we can. Obviously, things slip through the cracks, but
That sense of unity is something that I've never really known before. The surface is in sore need of it, but
yes, the surface, it feels like they would sooner step over you than put a hand out to help you up. But
it definitely depends. There are some places where that's true, and there's some places where it's less likely. It's just the level of diversity among peoples and ideas, and it's hard to find that unity when there's so much difference among everybody. And it feels like sometimes the only way to kind of create it is for people to have to lose themselves, and that's not something that many people are willing to do.
that's, I don't get it. I'll be perfectly honest. It's the surface confuses me quite a lot. It's I don't know. It's just everything's so limited down here. Yeah. Everyone has a
Yeah.
part to play.
There's definitely a lot on the surface. I didn't even know there was a world down here. Not until I met Cal, at least.
And do keep it that way. Sometimes I do think we are selfish in that regard. There's a lot. I feel like the surface kingdom's so infantile in comparison. Could learn from us.
And with the amount of magic, definitely. It just, because everyone, or not everyone, because on the surface is so much more defined by individualism, it would also be difficult to just kind of dump a whole bunch of knowledge and resources on them and know that it would be used in a positive way. So I can understand both reasons.
That, and we have the constant war versus the ghouls that if we leave for too long could end up going to the surface, so we try and protect.
Oh, you mean that little thing?
Alright, I've been there a few times. There's I believe their name is Grizik. They run the Crooked Cauldron. This is Zarya. They're a goblin folk. They do the most mouth-watering crispy spider legs you've ever tasted.
I've never eaten a spider, so let's go try it.
But like, I've seen your spiders in RIL. They're like, what, maybe that?
Oh yeah, they're like tiny little.
Yeah,
little guys.
the crispy spider legs are about the length of a femur.
Oh, okay.
You'll get like one or two if you're really hungry.
So here people can just get like kidnapped and like webbed up.
Well, if they leave the city.
The underworld's a scary place.
Yeah, no, pretty much. But they taste nice.
Well, as long as there's that.
Alright, come follow me. As he makes his way down this tavern, you can see it's a collection of mismatched furniture and, like, I suppose recycled tapestries is the nicest way of putting it. There's these flickering lanterns giving off this, like, chaotic but pretty cozy ambience. The roof you see Amathan kind of has, like, ducked down into is like, maybe you see a few, maybe 9 goblin folk that seem to be calling this place home. As you see this very, very, like, ear-to-ear, jagged teeth, toothy green, muddy green skin goes, oh, how you doing? We'll get you a couple tables over here. Oh god, we got a big one. Snick, get a big chair. As you see another goblin skitters around from behind the counter and runs off to, like, this peasant pulls out a chair and is like, "Arr!" as it's being pushed across the floor.
I love them.
It's nice. Please. Shit. He kind of feels around. Oh, he pulls out this thing. Pulls out a couple electrum pieces, too, and he just puts them in and he goes, so, we're going to, please, if we could, Grizik, I would like some, let's go, yeah, let's say 3 servings of the crispy spider legs. Could we get some more of the fermented wines, if you have any, please? And you know, there's been a good fungal cultivation this year. Could we get some stuffed mushroom caps, please, as well? Let's go. Oh yeah, no, not a problem. We'll bring that right up to you. Sit down. It's pretty quiet tonight, just family. Enjoy the atmosphere. There's kind of like a knowing look that he kind of clocks Amrathan, and he just goes, only the best, and kind of stiffens his back a little bit, and then like the skittering turns into a far more like unnaturally stiff back walk towards the kitchen.
Aww.
And then you hear the doors swing, and like they probably need some like work because the hinges maybe rusty. Just
Oh.
and just quiet. You hear, "We got fucking royalty, cook the best shit." He goes,
You seemed well respected.
I've been here a few times, but I always try and tell them not to make a fuss. So, I suppose I'm mostly just curious about everything. In a sense, I feel like I know so little of the woman my son should be marrying. Tell me about yourself.
I guess, what do you want to know? I don't
Uh,
really.
Well, you say you're a street rat a few times. A bit, I suppose.
It's a bit of like a coping mechanism with all of the how my entire life has changed and seemingly overnight. But yes,
That's
I
fair.
did grow up on the streets. My mother's parents owned a tavern in a horrible city known as Sirach. If you're ever on the surface again, I would not recommend going.
Alright.
Uh, and it's mostly led by different crime groups. And he got in debt when they passed away. The debt transferred to my mother. My father was I guess, mercenary would be the best term. We lived by a desert, which was quite dangerous, and he was a part of a group that would help guide people through it. One day he went on a mission and never came home. She kind of lost it after that. We couldn't make up the payment, so the crime group stole the inn. She kind of lost it even more and just kind of starved to death, and then it was just me. I made a few friends, but then everyone's got to eat, so they decided to join different groups, and I had a bit of a vendetta against them, so I didn't. Made some wrong friends. Some bad things happened. Eventually got out. Here we are.
Well, that's quite the tragedy. I'm very sorry you went through that. I can't, and I won't do you a disservice by pretending to know what that's like. Right.
It's okay. I mean,
Your
it's
father
not like
sounds
there's
like a noble man. I would have very
He
much
was.
liked to meet him.
I'd love to get to see him again. She pulls out like the necklace that has like his ashes in it. It's like the one that she got. It turns out that the mission that he went on was actually to help another kingdom nearby, to help the prince escape, because the king over there had kind of lost it. So he ended up a bit on the run with him, and he raised him like a son. So when I ended up meeting him recently, and it turns out he's the king of a nation, he kind of welcomed me in as a sister, which is something I've never had. So good things come out of it, I guess. I got to say goodbye.
Well, condolences for consolations. I mean, small consolations. Your father sounds like a truly incredible man.
Thank you. My mother wasn't bad either. She just didn't have the strength for the place she lived in.
I've known a few people like that. Not everyone does so well in the Carson view. Some families don't train them right, some families don't prepare them at all. It's tough when you get situations that, and the grim reality is, not everyone can make it through. Very sorry you went through that, but
You learn a lot. I made it through it.
you've clearly done well for yourself.
Oh, that's very much a recent thing. There was this whole 4-year period of time where we all kind of lost our memories.
I've heard bits and
I'm sure
pieces.
that had to have been hard for you guys. I mean, your son runs off and sometimes suddenly you don't hear from him for multiple years. It has to be terrifying.
It's scary. It's not something that... It's kind of different for us, maybe. 4 years is not that long for us.
That's fair. You live very long lives.
It does sometimes make it hard to contextualize the passage of time for you all. But trying to put it into scope, I suppose, yes, in a sense, it was... It didn't fit anyone. No, this may sound as somewhat of a surprise, but Taldwyn was the most affected by it. She cares deeply for Galatindir, although she shows it in odd and interesting ways.
I can definitely see it. She's not the first person I've known that it has unconventional ways of showing their feelings.
I had actually intended to go with her, but could not
That's what
excuse
she
myself.
said.
I'm told, a bad habit for trying to run headlong into trouble.
I mean, sometimes you find trouble, sometimes it finds you, right?
It's usually both for me, whether I'm looking for it or not. But
Us too.
it's alright. You're doing noble work. My son is the first star elf, and
I
he
mean,
has found love. I cannot be more of a happy father.
thank you. I've definitely, given all of the struggle we've been through recently, I've definitely been the happiest I've ever been in my life. I don't know if I'd call it noble, though. I mean, some people could say it's just a revenge journey, and others could say it's literally our only way of being able to exist in the world at this point. I mean, we killed a king. They didn't hang us. Yes, we do want the world to be a better place, and especially at this point, we're invested in it morally, but it didn't start that way.
Doesn't really matter what sets you off on the journeys that lie ahead. It can't be helped what is set out in front of us. All we can help is how we react to it. And I think for
That's
how
fair.
you've all reacted to it, could be posed as being noble work.
Well, I won't claim to that.
Well, I shan't force nobility upon you. That is my son's duty.
Oh, don't worry. We've had a few of these conversations. He's been very kind. I don't think he realized how much of a difference, an adjustment that it would be for me.
It will be that and then some. But
Yeah.
Calicent is not in line for the throne. I wouldn't be overly concerned about it.
Yeah. I guess it's just like when you grow up thinking that you're nothing and then suddenly there's like money everywhere and then a bunch of very important people that you're very close with and you're also apparently one of these very important people. It's kind of like a dream or a nightmare or both at the same time.
I can't say I quite understand. I understand the theory where you're coming from, but I suppose
that's
culturally it comes. In Asian Alexandria, no one is born to be nothing. Everyone is born to be something. We just have to figure out what that is.
That's lovely.
It's
I think more of the world
idealistic.
should be that way. It is, but I think it's true. The idea, because at the end of the day, everyone is something. It's just we're also products of our environment, so it's kind of like those two combating ideals at times.
At this stage, you hear that as these large platters, like they look like they've done their best to dust them off. Haven't needed to use such a large platter in a long time, and these various like beautifully like stacked and like kind of cracked to like elbow shape kind of the spider legs into a thing, and then surrounded by stuffed mushroom cups are put down, and this very like brackish wine gets brought out. It looks earthy in its own design.
Does Zamani like it?
You don't dislike it's passable. It's a wine unlike any you've ever tasted, but it's not quite within your comfort zone.
Okay,
It does, but it's not bad. But it's like that was cool to try. I just don't think I would order it again. But if someone ordered it for me, I wouldn't be mad.
Okay, that's fair. Neutral on it then.
Yeah, it's like it's not making you get sick. It's not making you feel ill. But you bite into the spider legs. They're crispy, as I said. They are very crispy. There's a lot of chew in the meat.
Got it. Jaw workout.
Yeah. But it's flavorful. You're not quite sure what they cook with. And everything's kind of very earthy. It's all got like their seasons, very earthy seasonings.
I guess that makes sense because we are kind of in the earth. Hungry.
Man, I thought I'd treat you to a nice dinner.
Thank you. The trip was so long and hard.
Not one I get to make this far quite as often as I would like.
That's fair. So do you like being among the people more than?
I think I strive best when I'm not expected to be king. I think my best moments are as king are when I thought I wasn't being a king. I think I've said this to Calicindia before. I'm not sure if I said it to you before, but I was not the first option. I was the best option, clearly.
Oh, obviously.
In terms of royal etiquette and decorum and locution, I was a bit too much of a soldier. I probably still am a bit too much of a soldier. I tried to run off with Calicindia's uncle. I gladly would have gone there as an elect. Perhaps we could have done it. Perhaps I could have saved my son the burden. I do not know. Hells, never let my wife hear me say this, but Calicindia would ask it of me. Albeit I think I'm past my golden years. I would run off with him and help him in this quest. Live my glory days as I thought them.
He's much too. He has a bit of the surface in him, in that individualistic way. Sorry. He's got that need to do everything on his own. That need not to have to rely on others.
I get
He's
that.
self-sufficient. It makes me want to strangle him.
It's maddening. He's like his uncle that way. We had talked about it originally. Perhaps this is a story better suited for when Calicindia was here with us, but I can say it anyway. Irizilica came back with the shard of the Dying God. First, the fanfare, you should have seen it. It was not unlike what you walked through. But it was different. It was the first. It was
Ever.
confirmation. Any Inquisition got that. They took it to study, to try and figure if there was a link. Irizilica's visions didn't match their belief of how it should be done. We had talked, my gods, how did we talk about? They had left before Calicindia was born. It was... I was a squire. I was close age to what Cal is now. Irizilica told me his plan to perhaps take it back if they do not see his ways, and I had begged. I had begged. I shortly was around the time I was meant to start the full proper ceremonies of marrying Cal's mother. I screamed myself rampant, abused Irizilica, saying that we should go do it now, and told me I had to think about it to calm myself, that I was just a squire and he would handle the more minute details. And I heard he left. Oh, it's the... I love my kids. I wouldn't give them for anything in the world. If I hadn't been stopped that day, I'd be on the surface. I'd probably be dead. But
I don't know that.
I know these things. I can tell. I was not one to receive the visions. I had tried something similar with Irizilica to try and receive visions of the Dying God. He tried to pass it on to me. Takes a special person. And I wasn't that type of special. Don't get me wrong, I did great things. Perhaps the best thing I've ever done with my life was sire the first star elf of our kind. So
It
perhaps
was
Arizona was
definitely quite
right.
a surprise. I mean, we all have a role to play, and the Dying God is an amalgamation of past, present, and future. And to be honest, the missions are not fun. Like they suck. They're gross. They're bad. They're life shattering. Very, very. What's the word? Just. Do you know what you're those? Okay, I think you do. But you know those moments when you're so drunk and you don't know what the world is anymore for a minute.
Been
It's like
there
that
a few times.
all the time, consistently. It's awful.
I'm aware. Arizona was plagued by them as well.
Although when he's all together, he's quite an interesting fellow.
He comes from interesting stock. I'd be ashamed if he was.
Wait, who is he talking about? Because somebody's talking about the guiding light in that.
He's talking about Calicindian.
Okay. That's fair. That's funny. And Cal does worry me, though.
He worries all of us.
He thinks he has to do it alone. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it can be done. I mean, if rumors are to be believed, the Ascended only had one. And not all of them made it. And not all of them are sane.
No. That's how you use it, I suppose.
Oh, don't worry. He gets punished every time he does. He's
All
promised
right.
not to use them, and then he keeps breaking those promises. We have a healer. It's fine. He can take an arrow to the shoulder every now and then.
Never trust a Tyrandin not to rush his headlong to trouble, and he does take after the Tyrandin for that.
I've never known someone more headstrong in my life.
I apologize. That's probably because of me.
It's equally admirable and infuriating. So I keep hearing of the Inquisition, like the spooky guy in the shadows.
They're not in the shadows, but they are spooky.
Well, I guess that's fair. What is their whole thing? I've been told to avoid there. Tal's been told to avoid there, or told me that we're avoiding there.
Look, the Inquisition. There's a few factions in the world below, in Ishtar Alexandria, where you can find people with firm beliefs in camps. There's the Crown. There's strong belief in the Crown will guide us forward. That tells your family. There's the Cathedral, which is not unpart of the Inquisition, but it is.
Internal faction divisions and things.
But the Cathedral, they believe it's running. Then you've got Narcaneth University, which is where all of our Arcanists come from, extremely strong. The Inquisition kind of has a foot in every camp. It was initially conceptualized and brought into being to guide us to the world below, to search in to try and bring back the Dying God. That was their initial purpose. But there's a difference in how to do it. They see a lot of people who don't worship the Dying God directly heretical, or those of you that worship things actively that would speak out against the Dying God. Ones who wish to look to the future without him. Put to the sword. There's a sense that the Inquisition should be the ones to lead us, not the Crown, or sense that the university should be the ones to lead us, not the Inquisition.
Everyone wants to be in charge instead of really working together. not too different from the surface, and after all.
But we're better at hiding it.
That's fair.
And even one of Calasinda's cousins, Kaelweir, is one of the Inquisitor. It's usually run by 4 people. It's a branch of Thalkazir. Quite dour man. Would be in charge of the adventures deeper into the world below, searching for the dying god's remnants. And you see what Calasinda is doing as he's going. Calasinda was part of the Inquisition for quite some time.
Well, doesn't everybody kind of have to be with their Krasenveer?
No, Krasenveer is done through Yerrickson. It's no, the select few who do very, very well in the Krasenveer get handpicked by the Inquisition to go on, but the general military is run by Fort Yerrickson.
Okay.
But the Inquisition's forces are elite, are best. They're traditionalists, staunch traditionalists. And most of them never wished to see Thalkazir take the throne. They wished someone else. They thought perhaps the Inquisition should have taken it, as the true nobility belief was with House Gorzail, not us. But House Gorzail fell. No lineage, no heir. So Thalkazir was next in line. Not first in line. Not the first of the followers of the Dying God to flee to the world below. Not the first to lead us, but of the noble houses, yes. So there's issues there. And there's concern that they'll want the shards off of Calasindia. Study them like they wanted with Irazilic, as they put a big blame. Because Irazilic was a Thalkazir, you must remember.
Yes.
And he, as part of the crown, went against the Inquisition, which caused a massive rift again.
With where we're at and how we're talking, is it safe to assume that like what we say here is we're good?
Amrathan feels that way.
Okay. Like, at this point, I don't know if they can be. Like Zamani's talking about the shards.
Not surprised. Where's that get talked about?
Yeah. We do potentially at least know where 2 more are as well that we're working on. That means makes 4.
I'm sure the Inquisition is going to speak to you. There's no way you get away without speaking to those at least the Grand Mistress Vildress. She is stern. She is very resilient to change. There is hope that myself and Zilzozana wish to try and pursue the Crown's influence one more time on the Inquisition. There's an open seat, you see, of the Inquisitor General. It's generally reserved for the top Inquisitor in charge of arcane matters during mages throughout all levels of the Starless stay in line and do not study too much. They would be normally the ones that would keep more of a closer eye on the University, the Eveningtide Tower. Calasindia had a friend in the Inquisition. Trying to see if Arelin would perhaps. We have a daughter. She is studying for the Inquisition. She is zealous, let's put it, but she is not an Arcanist to the same level. Val is great, but it wanted Talbin perhaps to pursue it, but she cares nothing for the Inquisition, cannot rise to the ranks. But if we could get Arelin in there, perhaps we just can get his friend in the leading ranks of the Inquisition for our son.
Yeah. And Arelin is, at least what I've met of him, is incredibly talented and also extremely kind.
Don't let him tell you otherwise. He is the strongest Arcanist in Asian Alexandria that we know of.
Oh, he absolutely told us otherwise, and then proceeded to teleport us across multiple cities that he had never been to on the surface, quickly disproving that.
That sounds
You guys have magics here that the surface has been trying to figure out for generations. I mean,
thousands of years to study.
we have a few people that should not have those magics in their hands. We met one. His name is Proxir. He's actually the reason why Zelly and the others are the way that they are. Although back then he wasn't Proxir. He was Brangobur. What?
Arthas.
Huh?
Zexel.
Arthas, yeah. He was a man by the name of Arthas Zexel who was attempting to attain immortality by any means, both nefarious and awful. And he ended up figuring out how to transfer and combine his soul with that of a governmental figure. And possesses many more spell books than he should have access to. The problem is that Proxir was a very good person and Arthas was a very horrible person, and we don't know how much of either one is in charge. And they're both very good liars because they're politicians.
That sounds like a problem that I know exactly how the Inquisition would handle.
Honestly, this is one of those situations where I'd probably be cool with the Inquisition, just kind of like filling it
That's
with fire.
heretical magic, that is. Straight to the sword.
Honestly, the enemy of my enemy is my friend in that situation, probably.
It's getting
Thankfully,
late. We should probably get back before we are.
Before we're missed too much.
Before I'm noticed missing.
Oh. Wait, I mean, that's already been achieved, right?
Those that saw us are strictly loyal to me.
That's fair.
Fair enough. I hope you enjoyed the food, and I hope you enjoyed a little bit calmer time in Asian Alexander, and seeing that
Very
not
much
all
so.
Starless community is pompous and arrogant.
Oh, I don't think it's possible for everybody to be. A fair number of them, yes. I'm excited to get to meet people.
You make your way back through the ways you came, working your way back up through. We'll use the same stealth check if nothing has been too strenuous to break it. Making your way back in, he guides you back to your room, and then, before you see as he gets to like the stairway where you originally entered, there's like this small little like lockbox that he just opens up, and you can see he just starts taking off his cloak, and he takes this much more fanciful one. It's like,
Zvani just snaps and changes her outfit back to normal and fixes her hair. Better?
much better.
Thank you.
Hope you had a nice time. It was good to get to know you.
You as well.
So hope we weren't noticed. See, heads out. There's no one there, but whether or not he was noticed will be a
We'll figure that out later.
yeah. But you make your way back to your room, bed down for your first night's sleep in Asian Alexander. It's a interesting experience. The lights are dimmed, dulled. Perhaps it's just the tired from the trip. But as quick as it takes you, the sleep feels like it ends as you see that the lights of the Citadel. You're not sure if it exactly how it works, but you see as your eyes flutter away because the light hits this kind of blinding. You're like, oh, I don't like mornings, but you see that there's been like a large wave of magic or something illusion brought over the bioluminescent moss on the ceiling and it hits almost like a lightning rod into the top of the crystal citadel, and very much so like the heartbeat of the city. It pulses down the citadel and it glows quite brightly for just a second in everywhere and then fades.
Everybody's wake-up call.
Exactly.
There's definitely a rollover and a pillow over there like, oh, that was cool, but it was too early.
So, as you spend your morning lazing around, there is a very much so like more quiet and timid lady in waiting does come to your door to try and summon you.
I would feel like Tamani could tell that she's very timid and out of her elements. So I'd be like, coming. That little bit of grumpiness, but also just not wanting to put out people and have a bad. She doesn't want anyone to like hear that she's like any kind of bad thing. She's
Yeah.
trying her fucking best.
Lady Zamani, the Princess Elvanis has requested you in her chambers. Thank you, Commodus. I gotta cut
Thank you.
very short.
Would you mind showing me the way?
Yes, my lady, if you'll follow me.
Thank you.
She guides you through the hallways up to a higher level of the Crystal Citadel. You get brought in, and you're not sure if it's just like this, like, oh, fuck. You walk in, Elvanis is sitting at this vanity table from a mirror. She's just like perfectly put together straight away. She's a few of her handmaidens like seaming up the back of her dress. One is over there polishing a tiara. And she goes, "You're all excused, lady. Come on, please have a seat."
Oh, then. Thank you for the invitation.
That's all right. I figured perhaps good to get to know each other.
I'd like that a lot. I do just want to apologize again.
You've nothing
sure
to
that-
apologize for.
No, but my presence has potentially put you out in a way that you probably weren't expecting, and I wasn't either, and you could have had plans otherwise, and I'm sorry that my existence here has caused that on you.
Perfectly alright. Part of being a good ruler is adapting to change and making best of what is assigned.
That's fair.
You're and if I do wish to get quite well. I have questions, perhaps.
Of course.
I'm not sure if they are seen as tasteless on the surface, so you'll have to pardon my ignorance on some manners.
You're fine.
Your infernal lineage, is that something that is generational to you, or are you the first of your family to be born of such race?
It's generational. My father was the first, so I guess I would be kind of a second generation, you could say.
And do you understand or know many of the circumstances around your father's?
I know
Beth?
very little. I lost my father when I was quite young.
Terribly sorry.
It's okay. I lived in a harsh world. When my mother was a bit more with it, she did tell us stories about how they met. Apparently, my grandmother had a relationship, and it ended up with my father, and she wasn't supposed to do that, and so it kind of the punishment for such things a lot of time fell on him, and eventually he ended up leaving his group, but he was in the desert, and so he ended up using his skills as a young adult and became a mercenary. And in that group, they would go to a tavern in the evenings whenever they got done with their missions, and that's how he met Mom.
Story. Very errant knight. Okay. You're you don't have to forgive my curiosity. It's not very common that the royal family would have an Azaria or betrothed, let alone a maid of honor for a wedding. So, it's not a field I've been taught how to navigate that. I'm still finding my foot.
Well, it's pretty hard to upset me unless it's done with spite or intention, so you should be fine. I wasn't raised with the level of care for decorum, you could say.
Alright.
I can speak with ease.
I rarely do, but I appreciate the sentiment.
That's fair.
It is appreciated. You must perhaps have questions for me, of the eldest of the
do.
family. I think it's only fair that we could perhaps go back and forth. I don't want to feel like I'm bombarding you and lambasting you with request after request.
I think that's fair. There's a lot of what I'd like to like. Of course, I do want to know about your people and about what this means for you and about just what you're like in general.
Sure.
Everyone seems quite different here. All of the siblings.
Yes, my brothers and sisters have the relaxed joy of not being in line for the throne.
That's fair.
It does quite well mold some. My mother is the paragon of her people, considered the best queen we've ever had. That's a big order to fill. And now
Yes.
could we perhaps keep something between us? I hear
course.
secrets bond people quite well.
Yes.
Calasindir is a star elf name.
He is.
He is not an heir for the throne, but I do worry perhaps that he may see himself a logical ruler for our people now. Which concerns me a little. A lot.
I know that me and Raph have talked out of character that like the Damani and Cal have like talked about this and then we talk about a lot of things like that, just like it off screen at night. I don't know to what extent though. I can't remember what Cal's feelings on that are right offhand.
Quick, Raph, start typing.
Raph, does Cal want to be in charge? I know that he does see himself in a way as like a leader of the people, but I don't never internalized it as he wants to be king. But I don't know.
We'll see if he says anything. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I know that he had an appointment, so sure. Oh, cool. Here we go. I'm getting the rundown.
See, Raph, this is why you should have been here.
How dare? Okay, I didn't think he had. I feel like there's a butt coming.
There's definitely a coming.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. However, I see. Then fishes. Okay. Okay. That's fair. Oh,
However,
there's
and
a
the butt.
double butts.
Yo.
Like if it says butt and then stops typing.
Raph's like, let me just fucking jump in the call. I don't care anymore.
How dare. Nah, the butt was a meme. Okay, well, fuck you too. Can Zamani tell? I know my insight is very bad, or perception, whichever one. But would Zamani be able to tell, like, if she's looking for an answer, of like, to kind of gauge how Cal's feeling?
Yeah, roll me an insight.
Okay. Oh, that was pretty good. That's my insight.
Pretty good.
17.
Elvanis is extremely particular with her words.
Yeah.
You're not
seems like
quite
it.
sure what motive may be behind it, but maybe she's just looking for some form of insight into the situation. She hasn't seen Calacinder in almost 5 years. So.
Mhm. He's definitely ambitious, but he wouldn't be if he hadn't started collecting the shards, and we haven't talked about that explicitly, which is kind of interesting because we've talked about many things. I don't know quite what his his absolute feelings on it are, but I think it might be something good to talk with him about. I don't know how close you are specifically. He's mentioned his family, but not always in so much detail.
He
Is
was
that something that you're worried about? Do you?
no, not necessarily. When Calicinda was a boy, he followed me around a little bit, but when my trainings got more intense, he couldn't follow me everywhere.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just intrusive thoughts.
Mm.
Profit is a strong word, but no, I trust my brother. He is not a usurper. It is mostly something I was curious if he had thought on. To be perfectly honest, without I'm rambling. You have a
Oh,
question there?
please. No. I want you to know that you can be honest about things with me. I'm not of the courts. I'm not of this high society lifestyle where any wrong move will be whispered about among the nobles by the next morning. If there's something that you would like to speak on, please feel free to. I know that we also just met, so if you don't trust me on that level, then that's also perfectly fine. I just would like to inspire some confidence, maybe.
Okay. Persuasion.
Okay. Now that I can do. Let's see. 28.
She kind of looks to the door, and her voice kind of gets a little lower. I'm going to make an assumption about you, and if I'm wrong, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
You feel like you don't know who you are with this course thing. With
Oh,
nobody.
absolutely.
I don't know who I am without it.
That's fair. Is that a part of yourself that you would like to explore?
It is my duty to take the throne. It is what I have trained my entire life for. If I didn't have that, then it would make me look into who I really am. That's
quite
scary.
a scary feat. Yeah.
I'm very used to being Elvanus, the heir to Asian Alexander. I don't like to think about who I am as Elvanus Thalkazir.
You're not. Just because it's different, or?
I don't know if it is.
It's fair.
I am ready to take the throne when it is called upon me. I was mostly curious if I would have the public backing of you and my brother still. Yes, it is an innate worry.
No, that's completely understandable. I mean, Cal is the first Star Elf, and who the hell knows how long. But while he's always talked fondly of his people and of his kingdom and of his family, I've never heard him talk about wanting to be in charge of it all. If anything, of course I don't know how the hierarchical social breakdowns of the city are. I always assumed maybe something of, like, depending on how things go, akin to maybe a cleric, or wanting to help lead his people from the understanding of the dying god as an aspect, and maybe less of a political one. So potentially as probably one of the greatest allies you could hope for, right?
I'd hope so. I did not I do not want an enemy of my brother or anybody.
I do think as well it would probably be good to speak with him. I know that 4 years isn't nearly as much as it is for you as it is for me, but he's changed a lot.
It's been more than 4 years since him and I have had a chance to just sit down, the two of us, and talk. I've been busy. That is bad
I
of
mean,
me. Well, that's bad of him for not making more time for each other. I haven't made an awful lot of time for many of my siblings, you see.
being an adult is hard. Being a leader is even harder, and training to be one is probably the hardest of all. Cut yourself some slack as well.
I did not get such privilege.
At least in private a little bit. Everyone, and I mean everyone, even if it's in private, even if it's on rare occasions, needs at least a little bit of time to let their hair down and just relax.
Alright,
You can only spool
sometimes.
yourselves too tight.
Sometimes. Between us, Scots. If at the end of the day my nail polish is chipped, I do not reapply till the following morning.
I think that that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, she is very tightly wound.
I can tell. Well, I know that we do have fun wedding plans to get to at some point. But maybe
Planning.
if you want to, we could schedule something like that close to the end of the day, and we could just also have a nice girls' night.
You mean scheduling a time to chip my own nail polish?
I don't mean this rudely, but you do seem like the type of person who would need it to be scheduled in order to do such a thing, yeah.
I mean, I do not know if I have time, but we could see.
I mean, to just take a little time to have some wine, maybe play some cards, and just talk as people, if you'd like. Also, I do understand that you're busy and you can't,
No, I will.
but it might be good for you.
No, that is
Balance in all
perhaps
things and all that stuff.
tomorrow, before I transfer the night, I would have an hour before. And although I do not know how much sleep you require.
I require about double what you guys do, but also I'm known to be a night owl.
It's alright. Perhaps we could do something like that.
I love that.
It would be amicable.
Of course.
I have to move a few things around, of course. You see, I've always thought there's a great similarity between planning war and planning a wedding.
Yeah, it seems like that given what your mom's in Calhub with alluded how weddings are here. I mean, they're
Yeah.
political moves as well as social ones. Are you happy? Do you like your betrothed?
I have not met them.
Ever?
In passing, maybe. They are not hard on the eyes, so to speak. I don't know what I suppose, I do not really care.
I'm sorry.
Whatever for.
For not getting to pick someone that you love.
It's not a luxury I have. Love is something that one gets to pursue if duty does not call them first.
That's fair. Doesn't mean it's easy though.
I've trained for
Still worth. Still worthy of mourning, I think. But that's also just the thoughts of somebody who knows absolutely nothing about anything. So
That is alright. The marriage shall strengthen the bonds between Valkalzir and Ila Rada. They are very neutral house, if not a bit druidic. perhaps the neutrality would be good to look into.
I mean, usually the people who are on the fringes of what would it be? Like the neutral usually make up the majority. So it wouldn't be bad to give them more on your side, because more allies is always better.
Ezekiel, we're from Ireland and America respectively.
Hi.
What's good? Time zones. Happy time
I don't
zone.
claim them. I didn't have a choice in the America matter.
We just got assigned.
Yeah. I chose a spawn point, I guess.
I'm Irish.
I'm very American.
Very American.
Sorry. Merca.
Is my mic still being very feedbacky?
It's a little bit better now, but it was kind of crunchy earlier.
Yeah, issues galore.
It's all good. You're in the process. Yeah. All good, all good. Not your fault.
We will find time to get the more pleasantry things done, perhaps. We still need to get you fitted into your dress.
Thank you.
We need to arrange a date. You're still getting the crunch.
A little bit, yeah. Protect just wants to fight you.
Yeah.
Computers are basically magic at this point, so. So chat, while Des is trying to fix mic issues, how are you guys doing? Are you having a good day? Night, evening? I don't know where people are usually from.
That might be a little bit better. Maybe.
That's a little bit worse.
Oh.
I hope you're having fun with the story and things. I was not about to turn down the opportunity to get to do more roleplay. This is my favorite part. Say it again.
Better or worse?
About the same as the better that it was before you made it worse. So it's an improvement in some form.
I don't know if that's going to do anything. If anything at all.
Keep talking.
I'll keep talking. What's up? Just having a good night watching a great stream.
I think it's probably about as good as it's going to get at this point. Not without something like a restart.
1 second, let's just try and plug it back in.
Okay.
Any better or any worse?
Very worse.
Fuck. Okay. Better? Worse? Very worse?
Back to the original thing that started the conversation.
Phenomenal.
It's not your fault. I'd say let's just go ahead and continue, because I don't think there's any way to really fix it, honestly, without restarting. And it's probably better to leave it at this. It's just, hey, it's a little crunchy sometimes, versus potentially making it worse.
This is the last thing I can try without any form of interaction. That make it worse or better?
Keep talking.
So keep talking. I'm gonna have a look back. Still get the crunch. Just having a good, watching a great stream.
I think that's a little bit better.
It's just AI noise cancellation, trying to get the staticky crunch. The microphone needs to be gone.
It makes you sound a little bit wiggly now, but it does make sense. It's less crunchy.
It's all right. A few weeks, few weeks left in this.
Oh, according to the stream, it's fixed. So.
Okay.
Sounds much better for me. Nice. Sounds good.
I'm not sure if you've been ready for them, but I do find it very interesting how our day will go when it does come for the wedding. You'll have to be up very early. We will be sewn into our dresses, you see.
Oh, okay. Is that normal?
It needs to be perfect fit.
Got it. Honestly, I promise to do my best to fulfill the expectations.
Please do. All eyes will be on us.
Reassuring.
Not just the royalty, but the small folk too.
Yes. Oh, the small folk I'm less worried about. It's mostly the royalty that concern me.
Is there any of them that particularly worry you? Anything about them that particularly worries you that I could perhaps clear some of your concerns on?
It's more like just what I've heard of court, just from as an outsider's perspective, and already knowing that there are many people who will hate me simply because of who I am and what I am and what I am affiliated with, and the fact that there's probably a lot of the heads of noble households that we're going to be at dinner with later who are going to hate me simply for the fact that it means that their daughter's marrying chances to Cal gone way down.
Yes. Valu and Dari will be quite the hard house for you to please.
Nice.
That was Lady Kinavali was meant to be the her daughter was being posed as the best match for Alice here. So innately they probably won't like you.
I mean, I guess that's fair. How is it appropriate here to deal with people who are clearly being snarky with you? Is it best to just ignore them, or is it best to do that polite snarkiness back to them?
Light snarkiness back is always preferred. No one wants to be seen.
I can do polite snarky.
Sure, you'll do fine. I believe I owe you a question if you have any.
I do, but I feel like yours seem to be a bit more pressing.
Please, for the sake of my promise, you can ask.
I mean, I guess just... What was it? What's it like here? What are you guys like? What was it like growing up here together with all of you?
The first few years it was a lot of fun. When Cal, not your
Which
Cal,
cow?
the first
the other
Cal
cow. Got it.
was born. I had my first sibling, and I had a lot of fun. And then my time with Taldwin and Valentar was great, and then Alessandra. For a while we were truly, I say this with humility, juvenile.
A force to be reckoned with, I'm sure.
There's else we run these halls amok. And I perhaps miss those days at times. Because
the freedom and innocence of being a child.
Exactly. We were truly free. No. I don't see them that much. Every day is very busy. Every day is studying the family trees of each of the noble houses, studying ancient treaties set up. It was a
lot of responsibility and probably quite the change.
I did look back fondly. There is Times I would head to lessons and I would see Calicindia following around Talvin, or Calorak and Valensaw butting heads. Perhaps I'm not the best to ask. I didn't really get much of a chance to be a kid.
Me neither. For quite different reasons, but yeah. Having a lot of responsibility at a young age. It's a shame. Your shit's just fighting you, huh?
Yeah, I was like, I think I know what it's called. I think it's actually the initial USB port that I had my microphone plugged into is actually getting kind of fucked.
Oh.
I think that may be what was causing a lot of the issues. So if I plug this in here, that might fix a lot.
Yeah. You might need to get a USB extender.
No, I've got more USBs on the back of the computer. It's good.
Okay.
I imagine it was difficult. I don't imagine you were going through the same lessons as I had. It's a very uncommon reason to lose one's childhood.
No. I had never had a formal lesson in anything until about 3 weeks ago.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You have much to learn.
Yeah.
I should put you in contact with some of my tutors from when I was younger. Perhaps they could help you.
I would deeply appreciate that. Val has been helping me on the surface quite a bit, and I've got a lot of the general things down, but when it comes to the more specifics, I hadn't really been able to get to that point before we ended up being here.
Well, the wedding's not for quite some time, but
True.
to learn about apt time to panic. But
yeah.
Push that down. We put on a brave face and we'll get it done.
The least we can do is fake it, huh?
Nothing. I don't mean to take all your morning.
No, you're fine.
Leave it so much. You don't have to.
You mean I finally get to know and meet the siblings that I've heard about and that I've never had for myself. And I would rather spend the morning wandering the halls on my own. I will leave when you are busy and you need to go do something else.
Yeah.
Or you just decide that you're sick of me and you want some time to yourself.
No, I've got time.
I have no plans.
I do not have any meetings for some time. So, I suppose if I'm going to ask for a question of mine now. What is my brother like now?
Oh, he's much less stuffy, at least, than he used to be. Apparently, he was much more like Taowen. And I did definitely get to see that, but getting to know him has been like prying apart 2 pieces of welded metal. But I feel like I've finally made progress, and him opening up and relaxing and just being as much of a common person on the surface as he can be has definitely, well, think about it this way. We hadn't had any money. We hadn't had any backing because we had everything that we did have was basically taken on us from the 4 years where we were under the sleeping bloodline. That was ended because we ended up killing a king, thanks to the ascended saint of undeath. And we were sent on an odyssey to try to redeem ourselves so that we wouldn't be hung. So we've basically been, especially from his perspective, common people for the last few months. And I think it's done him a lot of good. He's much, as Cal can be, much more open, just in general, and a lot more willing to talk and work things out instead of seclude himself and just think things through on his own. Of course, he still has the habits of doing so, but it's been really nice getting to know him. Honestly, when I first met him, I thought that we were going to butt heads like nothing else.
Interesting.
I mean, we come from as opposite of two backgrounds as they possibly could be.
Certainly not exactly alike, if I put it that way. Or definitely cut from different cloth. That's not always a bad thing.
Yeah. Although I'm sure some of your court people will definitely think it is.
Yeah, so perhaps leave the is it street rat
I
comment?
haven't said it that many times.
I mean, I think I've heard it reverberated throughout the Citadel at least 4.
Okay, I'll do better about that.
No, you can degrade yourself as much as you like, but when we're at court, I would very much so insist, for the family's sake as well, that you put on a confident exterior.
Could be.
We don't show our enemies our weakness.
No, definitely not. That I know. I guess I wasn't realizing just how word scary when you're talking to people who you think are on the same page, but I guess we're in a castle and there's a lot of that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Remember, we're not on the same page as anyone in South Elsia. We are the cover of the story, and it's only written about us.
That's fair.
It's important. Some small advice.
No, I appreciate it. I need everything I could get. I haven't been this out of my depths in a very long time.
That's
So
all right.
this time around, it's definitely much more gentle.
You can reserve that for after the dinner. It will be brutal. I apologize for
No,
all the
you're
look
fine. I've gotten them before. I'm more worried about the general view on the family, and all of that is important for you guys rather than my own personal things. But I understand now that those things are no longer separate. So
Don't worry, Falcazio has to be strong.
could you say that again?
Falcazio has only been a strongly united family, apart from some French family, I suppose. But regardless, I will be making at this victory dinner the announcement of you to be my maid of honor, and I will talk about you as if I have known you most of my life. What is your family name?
Marrow.
Like the bone.
Yes, like the bone.
Can't get that wrong.
It's
Just
a lot less
agree with
complicated.
most of the things I say. All right, just
Oh, I can definitely do that. Don't worry. No, I would not dare to contradict whatever you or your mother would ever say in any official capacity. Now, some Sabi noble, maybe. But only if I actually know what I'm talking about.
we'll get it. We'll do our best.
It's all we ever can do. Although I don't really think that's a question.
I can't even remember who was asking, to be fair.
It's your turn.
I thought I just asked what my brother was like, so I believe it's your turn.
I guess that's fair. I feel like I don't really know enough to know what to ask, to be honest.
That's all right.
I mostly just want to do the best I can to help out and to meet the expectations of society, socialites, and your family.
Stick close by, you'll do.
Make sure
My
to do just that.
day does have further discrepancies in it, though, the 10. So I will have to leave you there. It was a pleasure
Sounds good.
talking to you, and a pleasure to start getting to know you. I'm sure many of
Right.
my siblings will be thanking you for your time.
I look forward to it. I never got to have siblings growing up, so it's a
Who
nice
knows?
change.
May even make you wish you did.
We'll see.
As her ladies in waiting kind of come to open the door and escort you out.
Yeah.
The castle is yours. The keep, the citadel, the home. Is there anything you wish to pursue or seek out, or?
I mean, I feel like Zamani doesn't really know like what she's supposed to be doing because she's just kind of been, it's like when it's vacation time, but then you're with people who it's not vacation time, and so they're doing their thing, and you're just kind of like trying to find your place in that.
Yeah.
She's kind of doing that, so feel like it would be a lot more like for once, like she's not being that active engager because I feel like she's so far out of her depths. So she would be in the kind of position where she's very receptive to people coming to her, but not necessarily know how to seek out other people for once.
So, for argument's sake, we'll say you're
And
midday
some,
lunch, wandering around the castle, just after taking in some small bits. There's a kind of a buzz around the castle as you're walking down one of the very beautiful hallways, looking at the tapestries and the engravings into the crystal that denote the rise of House Thalcalzir and the fall of House Gorzel. As you kind of sit there trying to take it in, looking at the crowning of the first Thalcalzir. You just kind of hear a crock of shit, isn't it? As you look beside, and Calicinder's older brother, Calarak, is there.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't know enough to know if it is or not, huh?
Look, leading house dies. There's a scramble to see who gets it next. We're just lucky.
That's fair. Politics are quite messy. That's for sure.
No, there could have been an argument by many houses. We just kind of had the biggest backing at the time. So you retake that vote now. I don't think we get that.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come down to that, huh?
Yeah, look, there would have to be an assassination of all of my sisters, myself, and my brother.
I don't think the majority of your people would be down with destroying the first star elf.
Yeah, no, I think that would cause a bit of issues.
Just casually,
Yeah, look, it'll be what it is. So, look, unless your vote shouldn't come to it, but if it does, civil war, hoorah.
I hope not. You guys seem to be the most unified group of people I've ever seen in the entire world.
I mean, it starts that way always, doesn't it? How are you finding it? Bit overwhelming, I'd say.
Oh, definitely overwhelming. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a bit out of my depths here.
No, it's like a massive red flag on you.
I don't really feel like I've had enough instruction to know what way I'm supposed to fake it, and I'm too worried about faking it in one direction too hard and then it turning out that I'm accidentally portraying myself as some massive entitled bitch.
I mean, it's your right to be an entitled bitch.
Is it?
Let's keep going. That's
I haven't seen anybody else being a massive entitled bitch yet, so.
Not yet.
Especially, the outsider infernal blooded doesn't even have any elf in them. Probably shouldn't try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm wrong.
I like over.
Your light is really saying "fuck you" today, huh?
1 second, I'm gonna just unplug it into something else and get a different plug for it.
You're all good.
Okay, fine.
So, Raph, how jealous are you?
I don't know where. Do you know where the black plug is?
No black bug, sorry.
It should work off this one.
I hate this, but I also love it. That's fair. It's okay. You'll get your sex tweet. We're just taking turns now. Is it still fucking with you?
No, it seems to be okay. It's hot now. Maybe my lights are overheating, but I also haven't plugged into one plug. Another plug.
That's fair. That's fair. Sometimes electronics be wonky like that.
They don't do well.
I forget that you guys don't have AC.
No, I don't. I don't have a regular fan input cold air. I need to buy a cold air fan.
Yeah, here it's unheard of for someone not to have air conditioning. It's kind of a health hazard.
Yeah, we don't normally get heat in Ireland, full stop, so let alone good heat.
Yeah. We get lots of heat. Only slight jealousy.
Only slight jealousy. Look.
The dot speaks volumes.
You're look, you're doing about as well as any girl Calicinda could bring home, I would guess.
Can I tell what he means by that?
I go on inside if you want.
Sure. I'll try my best. Maybe I'll roll lucky. 16.
16?
Is that 19?
Yeah. That's more of a dig at Calicinda than it is at you.
Okay. But you and your brother don't get along.
Oh no! Well, we get along. Yeah, we get along. Definitely.
It's more like a question than an answer.
I don't know what he's like now.
That's fair. He's a lot less stuffy than he used to be, at least when I met him.
But I found the stick then.
At
You must be
times,
the
at
one to
times.
yank it. Take the sword out of the stone and you get the twink. That's what it must be.
It's my favorite twink, at least.
Yeah, I was gonna have a favorite.
Yeah, although he did just go and grow an entire foot on me without warning, so that's absolutely unfair.
Yeah, no, he was so short, so you could use it.
Oh, I must be minuscule to you.
Yeah, no, you're quite small.
Yeah, that's fair.
For
Although I can
reference,
do this. and she
Alaraca's
just,
already like 6'10".
Okay,
11.
Yeah, so I think Zamani's like 5'7".
Yeah.
It's like,
Like-
okay, I might not have height, but at least I have this. And she just like full wings, like takes up the whole hallway. That counts for something, right?
Look,
Who puts it
it's something. It's
Callum Builder.
kind of stand here.
Calislender. It is Calislender, that's for sure.
But no, I don't know. We were never really similar types of kids. Hey, Arrow, raiding with a party of 14. How we doing? What were you guys up to today? I see our raid alert is on the wrong layer.
I'm special today. I get to be on my own. We get to have a one-on-one today. How are you guys?
Hey, Viddy.
Hi, Viddy. We are playing a one-on-one session, or my character, Zamani, is kind of getting to know her betrothed, which is Raph's character, Calicinder's family. She grew up on the streets, good little street rat. Is now a princess and having a really hard time adjusting.
Look, sometimes you gotta do these things. Look, it's a mini session. It's a lot of fun. Tell us about your session. Tell us about what you did. We're talking brotherly slander right here, right now.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, the best kind of slander.
Well, look, it was, I suppose it is, but it was, we never really traveled in the same circles.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I've really only heard about when all of you were very young and got to rampage around together as a small band of hooligans.
Thank you, Viddy. I just got a cut. I went to the salon and I told the guys to just do whatever the fuck they wanted because I was sick of trying to make my mind up. And they did a very good job.
Agreed. You're a
No, but
Pidgeotto now.
What'd you say?
You're Pidgeotto. You've got
Yeah,
Pidgeotto hair.
Look, kind of. I slick it all
It's
back.
great. I like it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I
When we
didn't
were
mean to
kids, we we did more together. When as adults, we kind of just, I don't know, he went off to the Inquisition, I went off to I went off to Ericsson to pursue more into my cousin Via. Um, and obviously I went on my cousin Via before him. And since I'm only really back because you all are coming back, I would very rarely be in the Citadel nowadays.
That's fair. You prefer it out there.
I mean, it's more real, isn't it?
It's definitely more honest, that's for sure.
Yeah, perhaps that's a better way of putting it. I don't know, the day-to-day feasts and it's it is what it is, but
Very opulent. Curated.
yeah. Look, I'll probably be married off to one of the other houses soon. Probably a Yerrickson family, just keep that family bonds all together. I imagine. Yeah, I imagine probably soon I'll be a Prabatha rather than a Thalkazia, so.
Forget that here it's flipped down here than it is on the surface. Here usually women marry into men's families.
Yeah, all the way down here. But Lady Amara's very nice. She's strong sense of justice. And look, the symbol is honestly quite fanciful, quite nice. The rising sun casting its radiant rays. Wanting to try and get further expansion into towards the surface. Check the world below more and finally make ourselves aware again. I can respect their family values.
Are you interested in the surface?
Extremely, but I also recognize that without the Starless forces, the hordes of undeath would make their way onto the surface and cause far more havoc than should ever get out.
That's quite true. We had to deal with a little bit of it, and it was terrifying, quite overwhelming, especially with the infectious nature of it all.
I mean, I suppose for me, the world above is like you for the world below. It's kind of just, well, until now, for me at least anyway. It's a thing of fiction, almost. I know it's there, but I've never been there.
That's fair. It's much less of a fairy tale than down here seems to be, though.
Down here's not that great, don't worry.
No, but there's a sense of unity, and there. I mean, I haven't come across any slums yet.
Oh, no. God knows. Slums? That would be unsightly.
No, but it's the reality of the surface. I mean, until recently, even the closest city of ours had hell wards where all of the people of infernal lineage were segregated into that area and basically forgotten by the rest of society.
I mean, if someone's probably doesn't have enough wealth to their names in Asian Alexandria, they can go off and work in the electrum mines. Or what a lot of them do, a lot of my closest friends, they grew up poor and they just joined the Cars in Veer and stayed on with the Ericsson, stayed in the military.
Yeah. Most places on the surface don't have like an equivalent to the Cars in Veer, though.
Then how do they get their military experience?
They don't. That's the thing. Everybody doesn't have like a military thing.
Then how are they considered an adult?
Because they stop becoming a child.
By completing their Cars in Veer.
By being old enough to work or move out if they have the money, or by getting married if they have the money.
So they let children marry on the surface.
Well, when you don't have a society-wide military training, yes, I guess.
So what you do if you get invaded then? I mean, if someone tries to invade Asian Alexandria, everyone is trained with a glaive at the very minimum.
We have these things called civilians.
Yeah, so do we, but the military trained.
Theirs aren't. I say ours, like it's everybody and it's unified, but it's not.
So with you and Carasindia becoming I assume, ruling family on the surface of Burton, you're going to institute Cars in Veer.
I mean, we have a small keep, but like, okay. Imagine there's at least like 30 different Asian Alexanders, and you all kind of have a different way of running things, and you don't share territory, but there's territories between you. and everything's different between the different groups. So they're not really loyal to you, and you're not really loyal to them by anything other than political promises. You're not the same people, you're different groups.
Then send him on a cause in Veer. It builds loyalty and a sense of unity.
But you don't have the authority because they're not your people.
Well, send your people on a cause in Veer and tell other people to send the people on a cause. They said you're friends with someone in Sathasa. You should tell him to institute a cause in Veer for his people.
That'll go over very well. It's not the standard on the surface for everybody to have military training. A lot of rulers kind of fear that kind of thing because it trains their people in a unified way. It gives them the potential to stand against them.
But why would you understand?
Because not every ruler does a great job.
Then take their head. That's what the cause in Veer is for. Overthrow the
exactly.
regime.
That's what the royalty doesn't want to instate a cars and fear type of thing, because then it gives the people the potential to remove their head.
So we need to probably get rid of the ruling class then and replace it with someone who is willing to do a cause in Veer.
I think that you're pretty stuck on this whole necessity of a cars and veer kind of a thing.
I mean, look how well it's done for us.
I mean, that's true, but you're also, comparative wise, in some ways, at least unless I'm wrong, a smaller nation, right? There's
smaller in a sense, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier to rule less people, especially with more unified backgrounds. I mean, you have people of all types. I mean, look at the way that worship is done down here. You have a single god. They have a pantheon.
They have heroes.
Not by their standards.
Gods in Veer would sort that right out. You learn faith, you learn power, you learn training, you learn order, you learn structure, you learn loyalty.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that you're kind of boiling down and getting rid of the diversity of peoples. Or you're just underestimating it.
I just think it'd do him a world of good.
I mean, we have
Just speak to my brother about getting some more mandatory military service in there. I'll keep this.
I mean, we could definitely use the help.
Hmm.
We've been dealing with Samael and his lovely lich of a person.
Well, think about that. Your city gets sieged. Boom. Everyone's had a cause in Veer. They're ready to fight.
We did have a siege, just a lot of them died.
Wouldn't have happened if you had a cause in Veer.
I mean, potentially, yeah. Your people were very helpful doing that. I won't say that.
Oh, I'd imagine so. It's kind of what we excel in.
Yeah, true. I guess that's a better way to put it.
If you name me any of those Starlets who did poorly against the ghouls, I'll have their heads. We'll put them down for heresy.
No, I guess I would say here, military training is definitely a large staple of your society. There are societies on the surface where they have other things in that place. They have education, they have magics, they have trade, they have commerce. Everyone kind of picks their own flavor to focus on.
Yeah, no, you pick when your cause in Veer is done.
No. I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the societies in general. They have like themes that they kind of stick to.
I mean, it seems a bit asinine.
Why?
The cause in Veer just works.
It works here. That doesn't mean it'll work everywhere.
I mean, give us a couple of generations. Try it.
Wait, your generations or my generations? Those are very different things.
How long is your generation?
100 years. Give or take.
Yeah.
Yes. And how old did you think I was?
Well, I don't know. You could have Elvish lineage.
I don't. Although I don't know if that's something that they're going to say. So.
I mean, we probably should.
That's fair. Probably. Your people
Your ears pointy, I can't tell from your hair.
I mean, a little bit, but not really. I think that's just the infernal part.
I gotta say it's Elvin.
True.
How old are you?
People are 27.
My brother is a monster.
I only live to 100.
Feels wrong.
I mean, we age at very different rates.
I know, but I've spent more time than that in the military.
I know. Although I did get a fancy paper sign saying that the siege count as my car's in fear.
I mean, no, actually, that's fair. That siege was too...
Impervicals is a scary motherfucker.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that too often. No. I don't know how Mother ever... Don't know about it.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
Between us, doesn't talk about her cars in VO. Everyone does them, even Mother. Like, she was only, I think in history, the only ever sitting queen to have to do her cars in VO because her parents died so young. But she encountered the Emperor during her cars in VO.
She told us if we saw him to scrap the mission and run.
No, use them.
We had a wonderful ally. His name was Jornver. He was kind of the one who helped propose the plan in the first place, although it was originally quite a poorly thought out plan because he was very worried about his daughter. He sacrificed himself using overcharged sapper stone to push back the curveball. Would you say this? It's a type of mineral that absorbs magic. And if you put too much magic in it too quickly, it overcharges it and explodes.
So that's what that was.
Yeah, I pull out one of my sapperstone arrowheads to show him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's helpful for things like mage armor and shield.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's lobbing a projectile from a few hundred yards away.
Do you want to go down to the axe throwing range?
I've never thrown an axe before. I can try. I'm mostly just bow.
Ah.
Yeah.
How are you with a spear?
Never tried. I'm not really a strength-based person.
Probably want to get you. Probably want to get you used to having your hands on a glaive. If you were saying you did a Karzun view.
Yeah. Got it.
Basic training in faith service.
And my service was helpful just from a few hundred meters away.
You know, that's fair, but you never cover a story.
Yeah. I'm not very good up close.
I mean, you're doing just fine.
You're also not trying to kill me, as far as I know.
No, but you never know, family.
I don't, but I'm quickly learning.
Look, I'm just waiting for the moment that everything's just, Cal's mind snaps. He decides to go on a rampage. I know. Family things. I worry about him.
I'm doing
Baby
my
brother's
best.
taken on so much.
He has, and he insists on doing it alone. Drives me crazy.
Can you blame him though? I mean, to be the messiah of the starless people, to have all that power, the power that the Ascended used one of to try, and he has two, and knows the location of more. It's just that power, that lineage to leave behind. Can you imagine? It does not matter any of your military might or your legacy as a leader, but to bring back the dying god. I mean, even the thought alone would almost drive you to want to do it.
I do understand. It's just I think it's more power than a mortal can contain. I worry.
You're meant to. You're his betrothed.
Even before that, even before I really cared about him like that, it was. I think the ascended and the gods, everyone is they're different. And yes, of course, people can continue to ascend. I guess potentially. I just
I mean, that's up to Cal.
yeah.
I'm curious if he's thought about using them to ascend. Oh my god, like.
I don't know, but
It's
if so,
heretical thought, but.
I mean,
For the sake of debate and, like, thought.
he wouldn't be able to stay on this plane anymore.
Short term, yes. Long term, no.
Yes, but I guess that depends on how short your short term is.
I don't know. I don't know how long the heroes stayed around for. We don't really do history on them that much. We don't. Kind of that
Would I
heretic.
know that? I know Zamani doesn't really have like the history training.
What's your
She would
history
just
modifier?
ask-
Are you proficient?
I don't think so. No, let me check. I'm not proficient. My modifier is 2.
Okay. Just let's go ahead and roll me a history check. Let's see.
Okay. I'm rolling so fucking well tonight. What the fuck? Another 19.
Another 19. So you know that roughly in 145 New Dawn was when the gods ascended, and then 230 New Dawn was when the gods left the land of mortals. So, what, 85 years?
Yeah. I doubt Zamani would be able to like pinpoint it that much. So I would say less than 100.
Hey, you have advantage in next one. Wrath's redeeming. Grant
Oh,
advantage. Look, that's
what I can use my points on.
look, not for yourself.
Damn, that's fair. So, I mean, less than 100 years as far as service history goes.
They only had one. I would love to talk to him about this. Is he just like the... I don't know. There's always been spirited debate in the Citadel between the siblings. I'd love to talk to him about that. Yeah, don't try it with Talvin. Wreck your shit.
Oh, I don't doubt it. She's much more well studied than I have ever.
She came in and she was talking about how she had some conversation with McKestill, I believe it was. She's about 90% sure she's cracked divinity. I'm not quite sure what she means, but
I don't know. But Mercestiel is a pantheist priest, or I guess was. I don't know. She woke up suddenly with like washboard abs one day, so things might be a little different now.
Saladin's talked about her in a light for sure.
She's bad with people. I'd love to get to see Saladin again, though. It was fun.
I mean, he's around somewhere. We've been training a lot together. Chap and swing a sword. Give him that. He may not be stylist, but he's no stranger to combat.
No, he definitely isn't. He was in part of we had a group of islands of a town that was taken over by undead that he was sent there before we showed up.
He's talked about it a bit. He said he didn't do so well.
He didn't, but you live and learn.
Yeah, but would have fixed that?
If you say a Carson Bear, I swear to God.
You're getting it now.
Away.
You are getting it now. Extra 15 years experience under his belt. Would have taken the island.
I mean, to be fair though, 15 years of experience is like a fourth of our lives.
Just think about it.
Or I guess
he's half elfin.
He's half elfin, so maybe it would be less for him.
I would start telling people you're just a little bit elvish.
That's fair. How old should I tell them I am then?
I mean, you're not going to be full elvish, so it doesn't really matter. The
it doesn't
20s,
affect that? Okay, cool.
27 that's fine. But
you say that like I'm a child.
It's difficult to... I'm not used to many people that are centuries old, and 27 is... If I'm thinking back to what Calicinda was doing at 27, it's this long hair.
I have seen that. One of the things that I'm deeply looking forward to are as many embarrassing stories about him as a child as possible.
I keep a small copy of that painting in Fort Erickson where my room is just of the family. But whenever I'm having a bad day and I need to laugh.
That's a fair one. Did he also follow you around like a little duckling as well when he couldn't follow his sister?
No, no, he never quite took to the sword like, well, the glaive and such like I did. He did well in his cards in Veer, I'm told. Different times, you see. But no, he never,
Oh, yes, of course.
I don't know, he never really saw me as that admirable older brother.
I wonder why.
Well, I think a few reasons.
You're quite different. Although
Yeah.
it's absolutely throwing me off because I call him Cal and they call you Cal and they call him Cal Cinder. So every time I talk about Cal, I'm not sure if I'm talking about him or you.
I'll call him Cal to you because I understand this. But no, I am Cal technically. I got the
Yes.
nickname first.
Sorry to kind of co-opt that from you.
Look, it's all right. No, we don't. Not in the same room. Just don't call out Cal, and both of us will turn around.
Oh, I will
Can't believe
absolutely
that
be
little
doing that on
shit has
purpose,
stolen a
thank you.
nickname.
Cal
You know what I used to
Cinder's
do when he
just
was a
so
kid?
long,
I used
and
to
it
wait
is
around one of the corners every time. I would run on ahead, wait at the corner, and I would just grab one of the spears or something off one of the walls. And the second he turned the corner, I'd just charge him. He would take off running. He found balance, but he was not born with balance.
that's
He would
fair.
scramble. It was like Atari. Thought he would go up the walls one day.
Oh, I'd love to see it now. Let's see how things have changed.
I think if I chased him with a spear now, he might just melt my mind if he was crazy enough to use the shards to kill a brother. But, you know.
Oh, he's absolutely not allowed to do that in any way. He doesn't get to use those unless it's absolutely dire, and even then, I still fuss at him.
I don't think he... There's a certain stage of life that you stop fucking with someone who's been through trauma by hiding around corners with weapons. When
Yeah, that's fair.
their fight or flight response innately just changes to fight. So
That's quite fair. Yeah. I'm sorry.
all right, you'll have to grow up.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. My bad.
What?
Oh, I thought. Did you not say you'll have to grow up?
No, I said we all have to grow.
Oh, I thought you said you'll have to grow up. I was like, damn.
No,
My bad.
no. God, no. I am. Look, I'm not gonna. Neither there are some families that are going to talk down to you, but it won't be from me. I won't do that to a Thalkazia.
I appreciate it.
All about unity. Always has been.
It's impressive, to be honest.
So
A little jealous, but
that's all right. You have it now.
sure.
It's not that difficult. Yeah. And have a family, go marry the most noble and royal family in civilization, both above or below, the eldest. And, you know,
I didn't quite realize what I was signing up for in that regard.
Mhm.
I just fell in love with a stick in the mud.
yeah. Wonder that stick was made of electrum. I would
Didn't
say
re-
he's worth his weight in electrum, but he does not weigh a lot.
He doesn't. Although, to be fair, the surface doesn't even use electrum.
Seems like they're making a mistake.
They use
Mhm.
gold.
You know
Silver
what
and
can
copper.
fix that?
If you say a car's in very...
They get paid in electrum for the cards in VA. They would understand the currency.
Yes, but gold is worth more than electrum.
No, electrum is worth 3 gold.
Wait. I thought it was the other way around.
No, 1 electrum piece is 3 gold pieces.
Okay, my bad. Zamani would have known that. I just fucked up. I mean, that's fair. They don't need it. It's not really a common element up there.
Neither is magic.
I mean, it is. It's just not of the same type.
Now you
You
said it.
guys, I mean, you guys have a lot more time to figure it all out. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that they haven't figured it out to that extent up top. There's too many bad people who do horrible things with it.
You know what you need for them?
If you say a Carson Bear,
No, I was going to say the Inquisition. I got you that time.
I don't know about that either, just from what I've heard. Seems
And-
mildly concerning.
That'd be grand.
Yeah, you know, just get rid of that whole pantheon. First thing.
Look, it's never been the belief of the Starless to get rid of the Ascended, but they are heretics who stole divinity in power.
Isn't that kind of inherently a negative, though? I mean,
What?
heretic isn't really a compliment.
Oh no, we'd definitely get rid of them if we had the chance.
Exactly.
Claim
Which
the
is,
power back and all that.
I mean, but at this point, they get their power through a different place.
Are we sure?
They get, I mean, we can go talk to Todwin about it if you like.
Please no.
I mean, it seems like you're quite interested about
No,
it.
I'm just fucking about trying to.
So am I. No.
All fun and games until you bring Talvin into it, and then nothing's fun anymore.
She was very interested in reading my journal, although she didn't seem quite interested when she handed it
No, she
back.
showed me the copy.
She's showing everybody.
She wanted us to read about Callus India's journeys. She told us to skim over the smut. It's about 90% smut.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an adventurous time.
Look.
I mean,
Who's Nagel?
oh, he was a lovely friend. I mean, that was the first time me and Cal slept together.
Hmm.
He wanted to
Quite
mirror
the
on the
detail.
bed. I still haven't done that. I mean, you can have the details if you want to.
No, I mean,
have
there was
no
quite the
shame.
detail in there.
I mean, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
also there were drawings of the people who are in there, so you know who he is.
Yeah, no, I just was curious. Like,
We met him. Now he's an ally.
that's one way to get an ally.
I mean, first one who ever brought breakfast back.
That's just rude.
No, it was quite kind.
No, I mean, the fact that it was the first one to bring breakfast back.
No, that's true. I didn't have the most. I mean, you've read the journal.
I've read the journals. I'm sorry, are you alright?
No.
Do you
Thank
need someone
you.
to speak to?
I
I
mean,
can
I think
arrange
we
for
all
someone
did-
to be brought to your room.
No, I'm good. Thank you. I don't think there's any fixing it at this point. It's just a part of me. Could be worse off.
Could be what's up.
I still have all my hands and toes.
Yeah,
Still
like
got a
that
tail.
one guy on Atari without the wings. That was a bit of a gruesome read.
Yes.
Kind of fucked up, to be honest. Kind of a little bit.
Soraka's not a nice place.
Doesn't read like it.
No. And you can't even smell it from the pages.
I feel like I can, but it might be something else
Promise
I'm
it's
smelling.
Hopefully soon after we get back to the surface, we're actually going to be trying to fix Soraka a bit. You see, I didn't have any captives because I didn't have anyone I cared about, but I did have an enemy, and so if you can't take a captive, you can definitely empower an enemy, right?
Sure. But based on your logic, does that mean if you've moved against Samael, he's just going to take your vengeance from you?
At this point, I'd be fine with that. I just want her gone. I just want it all
Or is he
gone.
going to try and make us so powerful you can't take your vengeance?
Probably that one.
Probably that one.
Mm.
Now, good luck
Although-
sieging Serok. I don't know how you're planning on doing that, but
I've got a few ideas. Got a few allies.
yeah, I've read. Anyway, I have to go get going and see if I can't. Honestly,
Super tall one on that god things, right?
No, I've been having a bit of fun with the trick about waiting around a corner for Calisindra to walk around and chase him with a spear. Doesn't work for Calisindra anymore. That Zelly child of yours fucking loves it.
Yes, she does. Have you seen any of the other ones of them?
I have. There's they got father in quite the sticky situation.
To be fair, he challenged them first.
No, so I don't know if they got the idea from me waiting around a corner, but it seemed about 8 of them were out and they made a net, kind of like with their pseudopods, and father just rounded the corner and just.
I'm proud of them. They're learning battle tactics so young.
You know what they would do well in?
You say it, Karzanvir.
I'm gonna say it. Calzinville would do them very well.
At least let them grow up first.
Can they? I can't tell from your notes.
She's grown up a little. During the siege, she rapidly matured all at once, a little bit. It's concerning. We have a few mages that are helping. Oh, I don't know who to speak with. We started a school, and Cal had mentioned potentially bringing some educators from down here up there.
Oh, it's not going to happen.
Why not?
I mean, I just doubt it will happen.
I mean, that's fair.
Look, honestly, it's mostly because, what was I saying? Sorry, my words escape me right now. The Rathiri Kalam, the Narcaneth house, we're on good terms about taking Starless away from their homes, perhaps.
I
You
guess
know
they're
what
not
would
like.
solve Serok though? Causing the. You're correct, right?
I'm not going to disagree with you on that one.
I don't doubt it, but I've seen him around. It's something Calicinda's going to have to talk to Mother about, because that Aurelian guy, he's asked for permission to be sent to the surface. He'd make a phenomenal teacher. I thought Raventear is meant to be a very, very capable battle mage.
He absolutely refuses.
But that
he says that anything he would have to teach isn't something that they should learn.
No, but the problem is Aurelian wants to go to the surface, but Mother is denying the request, I believe.
I see. Yes, he wants to be up there with Cal.
I mean, they were very, very close. I mean,
yeah.
Calicinda in his entire 200-year life in the Woodbelow made 2 friends. Well, he made a few friends in the cars in VR. I wouldn't talk to him about them.
I know what's happened.
They didn't make.
I know. It was a hard time for him.
He had 2. Has 2.
Still has them. And now they're getting married.
Yeah, no, that's is the uncomfortable third wheel. I hope he never left that room to go get snacks, because you know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one to tell you. Would you do me a favor, future sister-in-law?
What do you need?
Will you please tell my brother that his best friend's request to be on the surface has been denied, and he should probably talk to Mother about that?
I can definitely do such a thing.
Well, I'm going to leave you so you can handle that awkwardness by yourself.
I'll do my best.
That reminds me of the snack incident.
Don't even. You had no idea they even had feelings for each other until they told you they were getting married. You had no idea.
But
perception be damned.
Caloric leaves, and the evening is yours, and with that, as you wander the halls, waiting for things to happen, that's where we're going to end your little day at court. As Raph sits there listening in FOMO, and that's where we're going to end. We'll be live again. What day is it even? Or Friday? We'll be back Monday for Kingslayers. We'll have more of this. Full party, though. We'll see you then. Thank you so much for the raid era. Thank you so much for everyone who dropped in and said their lovely, lovely words. We'll see you next time. Until then, bye.